everyone, welcome back to Royalty Soaps. So today is actually a very special soap making day because I'm going to be soap making with 3 different additives. I normally don't put any additives in my soap. You guys see anything that I put in there, which is essentially just the lye water solution into the oils, and then the oil lye water solution poured into different buckets with colorants, and then some fragrance oil. That's normally all I put in. But today we're adding 3 of them because we're doing oatmeal, milk, and honey. So I'm going to be adding some honey, which also means that these are not going to be vegan friendly. Sorry, all of my other soaps are. And this honey I know is good because it is from my friend Maureen from Reenie's Butterflies, Blooms, and Bees. I've actually done a royal review of her. And then in this one I have the milk. So this is organic, unsweetened almond milk. And then in this one mixed with water I have some colloidal oatmeal. So oatmeal that has been finally ground up into a powder. So I have my oatmeal, I have my milk, and I have my honey. So the first thing that we have to do, of course, is blend up our oils and our lye water solution. Also, I have been asked quite a bit where I get my lye, so I'm going to leave a link down in the description box below. I buy my lye in 50-pound pails, which makes it so much cheaper, but I recognize most people probably won't be purchasing in that bulk, but I actually get it off of Amazon, and I've been getting it there, oh, I'd say probably about 3 years now. I switched from my other lye supplier, and I have never ever had a problem with getting it from Amazon. The brand that sells it is Duda Diesel, and so now I'm just going to blend this up real quick. Okay, so this has been mixed up to light trace, so now I'm going to start adding in the additives. So I'm going to set my stick blender off to the side. I always do that just in case the stick blender falls over. I don't want it to fall over in there. So the first thing that I'm going to add is my oatmeal. I'm just going to pour that into the top. Okay, so I'm going to blend this in. And I definitely recommend, if you're going to use colloidal oatmeal in your soap batch, that you mix it with water first, because it's pretty clunky stuff and it's just kind of hard to incorporate. So now I'm going to add the almond milk, mix this in proper, and now for the honey. And do remember, if you ever decide to use honey or any sort of sweetened milk, so a milk like goat's milk or coconut milk or something, that all of these things have sugar in them, and sugar makes your soap batch pretty darn hot and also adds to the bubbliness of your bar. So sugar has very bubbly properties and makes it hot, and salt also will make your soap pretty hot, and it adds to the hardness of the bar. So if you're having a hard time getting a hard bar, well, add a little bit of salt and that should help a little bit. So now I'm going to mix this in. Okay, so now that all the additives are fully incorporated, I'm going to go ahead and add my oatmeal milk and honey scent to the big batch because I know that it doesn't seize up trace, and then we will section off the soap into the proper buckets for coloring. Okay, so I just mix that up very gently because I'm going to have to mix it up some more once I section it off, so why not? I'm also going to just go ahead and pour the rest of this teeny tiny bit. Now I'm going to section it off into some buckets. So in this first one here is Aztec Gold, and into this one is Shimmer Gold. So the Aztec Gold is from TKB Trading, and the Shimmer Gold is from Nurture Soap Supplies. So into the big bucket we are adding titanium dioxide mixed with water, and I will mix this one up first because it's the lightest color. And my goal with that titanium dioxide was to take this to a cream color, not a white. So now I'll just mix up the golds here. So that Shimmer Gold definitely made it like a light honey color, and then this Aztec Gold kind of went copper, and then this is cream. So it's time to start pouring these into the molds. Okay, so we're gonna start by pouring in the white. I am moving relatively quickly because with all these delicious additives and all the colorants and the fragrance oils in now, it is starting to thicken up. Now I'm going to pour in the Shimmer Gold from up relatively high, pouring in big plunks of it. And now the Aztec Gold, also from Pretty High. Just one stripe of the Aztec Gold for now. I'm gonna pour in some more of the cream color. Now some more of the Aztec Gold. Once again from up Pretty High. I'm also gonna tap these down real quick. Okay, gotta get that shimmer gold in there some more. Okay, so now I'm going to take my spatula here and just kind of bounce the soap up and down. I found that that's a really good way to make sure that everything is in the cracks. Then I'm going to scrape out my bowls. So as you can see, I plopped the rest of that soap on, and now we're going to pipe the top. So for the frosting, I added in titanium dioxide, but I also added in a little bit of the shimmer gold mica because I didn't want this to be a completely white top. I wanted it to be kind of almond looking, kind of creamy, so it didn't clash against the bottom that has like almost no white in it. So to pipe this, I'm using, of course, the Royalty Soaps piping set with the Open Star tip, and I do use two different recipes, one for the top and one for the bottom. If you want the top recipe, it comes along when you purchase the piping set. And if you want the bottom recipe, all you have to do is expand the description box below and you will find it down there for your own personal use. So I'm putting 3 little dollops across. I love this tip for doing these types of soaps because it looks like a food tip to me, even more so than some of the other ones. It really reminds me of frozen yogurt. Like if you go to Sweet Frog or whatever a yogurt bar you have near you and you get, you know, I don't know, caramel dulce or whatever you have, it always comes out in this big tip like this. Also, I bought a soap popsicle mold from the big WSP sale that I told you guys about, and I am dying to try it out. I have been wanting to make soap pops for a really long time with glycerin soap or melt and pour soap, so I think I might do a tutorial. Would you guys be interested in that? Because I'm thinking I want to do some more beginner-friendly tutorials. These videos that I make here, I don't really feel are tutorials. I tell you guys a lot of the information about things that I use, so if you're already a soap maker, it might help you out, but I don't like make a ton of videos to help new soap makers get on their feet, or even people that have never made soap before but want to try. So I kind of want to make some videos starting out with some more basic things like glycerin soap. Okay, so now I'm going to put a little dollop on the top of each of these soaps. And the piping is being really good to me. This is one of the better batches that I've made recently for piping. I'm just gonna put this on, and then the next thing that I'm gonna put on is some organic oats, just for pretty, really. They're not really adding much to exfoliation or anything like that when they're sitting on the top, but I have rolled them around a little bit in the shimmer gold mica, and I think it is going to be so pretty. Okay, so here are my oats that I have doused in pretty stuff. I'm just gonna kind of sprinkle this all over. This reminds me of like I don't know what made me think of this, but this reminds me of the Midas touch, where King Midas touches everything and it turns to cold, and it's like, did you touch the oatmeal this morning, dear? Because this does not look like normal oatmeal. Okay, so oatmeal is on, so I have a few little bits of colored salt that I thought I would just sprinkle on there. This was from another batch, but it definitely matches this one, just to add a little more texture there on top. Sprinkledy. Okay, so now we're going to add the little embeds on. So these were made too with the shimmer gold mica, so we're gonna put one on each of the bars. And then I'm gonna take some melt and pour that I've kind of colored to look like honey, and I'm gonna drizzle that on top. So that's going to help keep in all of these embeds and the salt and the oatmeal, because sometimes they fall off, but they won't if you kind of seal them in with something. So that's one of the tricks, is if you have lots of loose stuff on top, if you can put a quick little sprinkle of melt and pour, it really helps hold those toppings on nicely. And I can't tell you how good this smells. This particular fragrance is from Wholesale Supplies Plus. And once again, it is oatmeal, milk, and honey, and I have tried oatmeal, milk, and honey money from a lot of different places. Pretty much every fragrance oil supplier ever is going to have it, but this one is my favorite. One of the things when I first started making soap that was commonly told to me from veteran soap makers was don't share anything with anyone. Don't share your fragrance oils, don't share, you know, your colorants. Keep all that kind of a secret because, you know, you've worked hard to find that and you don't want other people just having free access to the stuff you've worked hard to find. But I came to discover over the years that that just isn't me. That isn't me to keep all that stuff in for the sake of business, because while this is my business, I also subscribe to the philosophy that there are 7 billion people in this world to be cleaned, and I can't clean them all. I know you guys have heard me say that before. It is still true today, so there is no reason, in my opinion, to be stingy with my information. And actually, I don't know if there's a correlation between this, but when I started sharing more because I felt more and more inclined to do so, I actually got more and more business. And now, of course, you guys know I'm to the point where I sell out within 24 to 48 hours of listing my stuff. So I'm not saying that's the reason why. I'm just saying that as I became more giving, more was given to me. So you can take that for what it's worth. Okay, so now I'm going to go heat up the melted pour and we will drizzle it on the top and then let these guys sit, and I am so excited. Okay, so I've got my melt and pour here, so I'm just gonna start sprinkling that over. I'm taking my time because I do want this to get into a lot of the cracks of the soap. I do want this to cover it pretty good. This also adds a lot of color on top, which is pretty. All right, so now that that's done, I'm going to take my 90% rubbing alcohol and give this a spritz, and I'll show you a little close-up. So this is what they look like up close. As you can see, lots and lots of gold on top. Lovely. So I'll be back in 24 to 48 hours and we will cut up these bars. And welcome back. This soap has been sitting for quite a long time, even longer than 48 hours, more like 72, just because it was a little bit soft on the edges and I wanted to make sure it was completely hardened before I cut it. It smells so good, you guys. It smells so, so good. So I'm gonna line this up here, make sure I'm not cutting any of these little soapy embeds here. I'm gonna press down super gentle. Even after sitting this long, it's still really easy to cut this soap, thank goodness. And we pull one out for the middle, and this is what it looks like on the inside. So you can see that golden honey color and then that darker copper color really coming out strong there, and they've definitely discolored a little bit. You can see around the edges here that this yellow creamy color is kind of going to like this pale creamy color. I think that looks so cool. So the question of the day is, if you could go on vacation, to which of these two places would it be? So would it be a seaside or tropical destination, or like a forest mountain destination? You can participate in this poll by clicking the upper right hand corner. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, maybe even leave me a comment down below, and I will see you all soon. So until next time, bye for now.